Hey everyone, this is Peggy with Sweet Tea Makery and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're able to join me today. So on today's tutorial we're going to do a double layer Poof strawberry wreath. We're going to take a 21 inch and a 10 inch Deco Mesh roll. We're going to layer that together and place it on our work wreath. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so now and tap that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload new content or go live. So I just wanted to let you know that I have already created my bow. I went ahead and did that prior to the video, and just to save a little bit of time. So we'll be adding that bow in. We'll just place it over here for now. And I just want to show you the ribbons that I'm going to be using today. So this is a burlap, a strawberry burlap, which I thought was just adorable. And then I married that with this burlap, which is a polka dot, green and white polka dot burlap ribbon, 2.5 by 5 inch. And I also added in this nice red stripe, which I thought really kind of gave it a nice little accent piece. So all of today's materials actually have come from my very favorite craft store. It's a local store here called Carolina Pottery, and they do have online shopping, so please take a look at their online shop. And if you're local or come to the Columbia area where I am at, you can shop there. They have 3 other locations as well, and those are all noted on their website. And join their lifestyle club because you can get notifications of discounts and coupons, and which I use all the time. I may even add in some strawberries, and again, all these materials were purchased at Carolina Pottery. It's not a sponsored video, by the way. It's just a store that I've been going to for years, and I love their products. So let's take a quick look at some of the things that we are going to use. So I'm just going to tilt you down and shift you over just a little bit here. So here's the 21 inch. I'm using a green metallic, and then the 10 inch, which is actually a burlap color with a white stripe that's running through that. And to kind of keep myself a little bit in line here, I have actually taken, if you can see, I hope so, on either side of my Deco Mesh rolls, I've placed some of these clips, and that's just to keep it from sliding too much. It just kind of helps guide me as I work on my wreath. And I'm taking, this is a, let's take a look at that. It's a, oops, yes, a 24 inch pine work wreath in lime green. And again, I got my ribbons here, and I picked up several of these strawberry stems, floral stems, which I may or may not add. I haven't decided yet, so we'll see. And I also picked up this, which I may also add, which I thought was really super cute. But we'll see how it all comes together. And if we use it, we do. If we don't, we don't. So I've already gotten started. I like to test it just to make sure that I'm cutting my ribbons at the right length for how I want my finished product to look. So I actually cut these at 12 inch. You can certainly cut them a little longer. It just depends. If your poofs are a little poofier than mine, I would suggest going with a little longer length in your ribbon tails, which would be actually 13 inches if you're poofier, but mine are at 12. So there are 18 ties, and of course I cut 18 ribbon tails, 18 sets. And when I started, I'll just show you quickly. So I went in front of this right here, and then I took my ends, and then I added a zip tie and secured it. And then I started to create my poofs. So let's see if we can tilt you down just a little bit more, and just to give you a little better angle at what I'm doing. There we go. I'm still working on setting up my Mevo, guys. So what I do is I'll create a poof, and I'll create a second poof, and when I do that, I'll come back and add in my ribbon tails. I kind of do it as I go along. So here we are taking this, and I'm just curling it under and going to the center a little bit. Just do it this way. And I'd say I am probably, let's measure this. I am actually probably doing about a 12-inch because I'm not putting any other mesh on the work wreath. So this is going to act as my base. I won't have any additional mesh being added to that. So we're just going, and I start from the bottom ring. I don't always start from the bottom ring, but on this particular one, I am doing that. I give it a good 2 to 3 twists. And I like to fluff as I go. And I just kind of reach in there and pull this out just a little, and just keeping this centered. And if it's not quite the way I want it, when I get fully around there, I'll come back and we'll just refluff. But we're just double layering it. I love this green against the tan. And don't be afraid to pull on it. There we go. And if it gets out of whack, you just, you fix it. So I'm going, because I want this to sit on top, I am actually going to not untwist it, because I have plenty of the tie to work with. If it was shorter, I would untwist it and go back all the way down. But I kind of want these to sit up on top, and we'll trim these off once we're done. And we're just going to keep adding our tails, and I've just layered them, and I'm pinching them in the middle just like that. And what I do is I double check, because I'm going to put my I want to make sure that my strawberries, since it's a pattern, that they're facing outwards. Oops, I let go of that when I was talking to you. And you can curl them under. Sometimes that works for me, and sometimes it doesn't. But you can certainly curl them under, sort of like a bird. But sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't always do it. And I give that a good twist. And I like to pull my bigger tails outward this way, and then my smaller ones inward, because I really want that ribbon to really show up. And we're going to pull opposite directions, and then we're just going to have this one come in the center. And again, you can always adjust these once you're done. And again, adjusting this too. And we're just going to continue working along, opening up our next ties. And again, you see how if you have those, just to show you, so if you have this sort of secured here, it keeps it from moving around and you're not fighting it as much. So we're going to, again, tucking under. going to pull that, and we're going to make about a 12-inch poof. And we're just going to go in and secure it. And again, I like pulling these and going ahead and making my poofs. This one seems to be just a little bit tighter. I'm not sure why, but we'll work on it. That I got that one the way I want it. And again, it's just a matter, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so it's just a matter, oh, I see it's pulling on that. I might have gotten a little tight on that one. Let's undo it. That's the blessing about these, that they're very forgiving. I see what I did. I kind of pulled a little too tight. That's something to learn. You don't want to pull it super tight underneath so that you can really get that poof, and I just happen to do that. And we can take those off. See, that works way much better. Way better. Sorry. And that's giving us our color. So again, we're going to go back and put our ribbons, and we can adjust that. Going to layer that in. Grab another layer. Our strawberry over here. So what I do when I stack mine, I'll just show you. So when I stack mine, I just kind of stack them in an X because they're easy for me to pick up. I go ahead and put them together. And it makes it kind of go faster because and it kind of helps you keep you from making a mistake. And let's just try that. Try that one again. We're going to go in, and again, I'm not untwisting, I'm just putting that right on top because I really want this to stand up. And I'm twisting opposite, of course, and I'm taking that third ribbon and kind of coming in the center, and I'll adjust it, you know, depending on how I want it to look. Refluff it a little bit. Okay, so again, we're pulling a little bit so we can get some of that out of the way. And I'm doing a 12-inch poof, so we're going to go ahead and put that one in there. And this is again going to be the only Deco Mesh, so we do definitely want to make sure that we're getting, you know, a nice amount of poof. And again, you can come back and adjust this. And that's what I do. I tend to come back and just refluff it a little bit, pull it down, just to get it the way I want it. And we're going to go back in and do another set of ribbons. Hey everyone, if you're just joining me today, we are doing a double layer poof strawberry wreath. We're using 3 different ribbon tails, and if you want to let me know where you're viewing from, that would be awesome. I always love to see where everyone's, you know, who's how far my reach is, and how many other crafters, you know, that are crafting out there. And my neighbor's growing some strawberries, and they just look absolutely scrumptious. We grew some last year, but we had to move our garden a little bit because we added it in a potting shed. So my little strawberry patch, unfortunately, got moved, but we did plant other things in our garden this year. We planted cucumbers and tomatoes and beans and peppers. And you can measure this, of course, if you want to measure it, but I usually kind of eyeball it. But we got our first cucumbers, and we're hoping to get our first tomatoes here very, very soon. So I don't know if you garden, but we did what they call a square foot garden. And since we started doing that, they're in boxes that my husband built. And it really is so manageable. So I recommend square foot gardening. You can Google that, and I highly recommend it. We also had some squash and some watermelons. You have a nice, juicy, what they call a Charleston gray, which is it's kind of a light, very light grayish color. And I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I do not know if the Charleston gray is because it's, related to Charleston, but we always grew them when I was younger, so, and they're probably one of my favorite watermelons. They have a lot less seed. But we did try, last year we tried honeydew and some cantaloupe, and it just got too hot. And those, of course, need a lot of water, and so we didn't have a lot of rain. And even with watering the garden every day, it still was not, there we go. I think it just didn't get enough, but we've had a really rainy season this year. I don't know about y'all, but oops. The only thing is this Deco Mesh does tend to stick, so sticks to everything, including me. Make sure that's 12 inches. Yep, it's about 12 inches. And so cucumbers also take a lot of water, and they just came out perfect. Those little suckers grow so fast. They were like babies. And my husband says, oh, in about 3 days, they'll be perfect size, and we're going to pick them. And I was like, yeah, right. Them little babies, they look like the little tiny Gerber pickles. And then they came out, they're like this big. I was like, my word. Lordy. They're growing like weeds. But we love to pickle. Actually, they're pickling cucumbers. And we like to do some canning and some pickling. And we just like to eat cucumbers in our salads. And we make what we call a cucumber salad. It's my favorite thing to eat in the summer. And we just take Italian dressing, zesty Italian dressing, and cut up our cucumbers. I take the skin off. I just have stomach problems, so I can't tolerate the skin on the cucumbers. But I peel it, slice them up, and then we, of course, and I've told you I'm going to take those out. So, and then we put feta cheese in it, and we mix it up, and then we put it back in the refrigerator, and let it chill. And then we cook whatever our meal is. So it could be pork chops. It could be. Gotta get that going a little bit. Get that loose. And then we just enjoy. Make sure I'm doing 12 yet. Enjoy that along. Instead of a traditional salad, that's what we're doing. And of course, we grew lettuce this year. We used a variety, what they call a multi-pack, and it was delicious. The only thing is, it does start to seed up on us. So that, the season for your lettuce, and we were trimming it, the lettuce. Goodness, I'm talking about vegetables too much, I guess. I guess I'm getting hungry. Isn't that usually what they say when you start talking about food? Start getting hungry. And it shouldn't take too long. I'm not super fast, but you know, depends on the type of wreath that I'm making. And then we may not get to add in our actual strawberry stems, but if I don't get to do that tonight in the tutorial, then we will definitely, I will go back and add it, and then we can, I'll post a picture on my Facebook page actually, and the finished product of course will be on the video itself. So I don't know, I kind of like it that way. I may go back. Kind of like it that way. That's pretty. I like it that way instead of I was doing it up and down, but we'll see. Might go back and change that. Alright, and we're coming around to where we're going to have to cross over. We got one more, and then we can cross over. And we'll just grab a hold of that and loosen it up. Sometimes these get just, oh, I see it got, you know, it's mesh, so it's sticking. There we go. Let's get a little bit loose there. It does still help, I think, to still have it right above each other. That might be just a tad bit long. There we go. And we're going to go into, yeah, we're going to go into this one. Sometimes I kind of help it along, so I just pull it. Make sure, yep. I am trying to get a little bit close here. And we'll poof it out a little. And we're just trying to keep this in the middle. I don't know if you can tell here, but we're trying to have where we have green mesh on this side, and this in the middle. Now I've got this one here, right here, and I'm going to use that as my tie off, so when I come back around from the top rung, I will tie it off on this one. So I'm not going to add that in there right now, but I will do that once I get back around. So right now we're going to cross over to the top rung after we add our ribbon. And again, we're kind of doing that way. These are 12-inch ribbon tails. And actually, we need to do it this way. And sometimes I just curl these under rather than trimming them off. It just depends. Actually, it doesn't matter which side you start from. I just happen to be starting from this side. But sometimes I tend to try to follow, oops, opposites. There, yeah, I kind of like that. And I actually skipped one, talking too much. But we'll just go back and add it in. Now if I hope I counted right. If I didn't count right, then I'll just have to redo it. And I'm just pinching those in the middle. This is a nice thick canvas ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's very, very sturdy. It's one of my favorite type ribbons to use. And really, honestly, if I can use that, I always pick that first. But other ribbons, they work just as well. But this just happens to be my favorite. And then we'll fix that little poof there. now, like I said, we're going to cross over to the top rung. And I am just keeping that in the middle. You can see that. I'm just trying to keep this in the middle as much as I can as I'm gathering and pulling. And I kind of go up here. And sometimes I have to, you know, kind of let it, because it does catch. And we want to make sure that those edges are curled under. And we're doing a 12-inch, which is quite a bit longer. So we'll come back down a little bit. Yep, that's about a 12-inch. And now we're going to cross over to the top rung. And I'm have to scooch it over here, closer to me, to get that to work. I'll make sure that's coming down. And I just pinch it and push it down as I'm going. Making sure I get a good twist. And then again, we'll puff it out. You want to loosen it up from the green because it does tend to get, see, it does tend to get there. But again, you can refluff as you go. And you may have to refluff these too. We'll just see. And I like to go to the next one before I put my ribbons in, just because it does help to keep it from mushing them, smashing your ribbons down too much. And again, we're going to make sure that we've got this in the center as much as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's a little longer. I'm going to open up that one and go to our next one. Make sure that's 12, yes. And the thing is, it does catch. So there. All you have to do is readjust it. And again, it's going to smush down your ribbons, so you just have to, you know, go back and refluff. And I do that no matter what. So. And you know, it does stick, but that's all right. I just really love the look of this. I just really do. I just love it. It looks like it's kind of like a basket weave. It's one of my favorite things to do with these, with this poof. I've seen people do like multiple colors, but I'm not sure I've seen anyone. If I'm incorrect, let me know. But I don't think I've seen anyone do the double layer with the 21-inch and the 10-inch mesh, but that may be just me. I don't look at the hundreds of videos that are out there, so I look as, you know, look at some, but you can't catch everything. I just love this combination. And I love it being all different poofiness, if that's a word. All right, so, and again, I'm trying to keep those ends tucked under as I go. And I do have to kind of push that down just a tad. And we'll just add that. Yep. And there are 10 ties on the bottom and 8 ties on the top, so a total of 18. Excuse me, 18. Yeah, there we go. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Getting ready to do a different kind of wreath where I'm going to be using this same polka dot, but I've done a little something really little neat with it. So I can't wait for you to see that video and how that one turns out. You'll be really surprised. of how of what I do with this ribbon, this polka dot burlap, white and green polka dot ribbon in my next wreath. It's just kind of a little different take. Yeah, there we go. Yep, see, we just have to go back and redo that. Oh, I'm loving how this is turning out. And I pray to God that I have enough mesh. Usually you always have some left over, especially when you're doing the 10-inch, but I'm doing a 12-inch, so I'm praying. And you just have to push that down a tad to get to your next one and go down. If you have any questions, please comment. I'd love to know what projects y'all are working on. Have you ever done a double layer Poof method wreath? Have you ever done that kind? Are you new to wreath making? Or are you a seasoned designer, what I call a seasoned designer? And that's someone that's, been doing it for quite a while. I've done a lot of floral grapevines over 25 plus years, probably 30. Done those in evergreens, but I'm fairly new. I tried a couple of Deco Mesh way back. I couldn't figure it out, and then it started getting super popular, and so then I started watching some tutorials and just watching the different techniques and practicing, just like I did when I learned how to make bows. And I was going to show you my bow that I hand tie my bows. I do have bow makers, and I have used them on occasion, but I keep going back. I just feel like I can do hand tie better, or not better, but quicker maybe. The bow makers are definitely a good alternative, and especially I have some arthritis in my thumbs, so when my thumbs are really hurting me, let's see, yeah, when my thumbs are really hurting me, I will use my bow maker, or if I just don't feel like hand tying one. And also to get in practice, because it does take a little practice to use your bow makers as well. So, and I'm mushing this down, y'all. Sorry, it's just what happens when you get it all poofy like that. And we'll come back and fix these. And the Poof method makes a really nice full wreath. So, but the great thing is you can push it down and then bring it back. Got out of alignment a little bit. So I'm folding them in half to find my center, and then I'm just pinching, and we'll just curl them. It seems to be working for me today. Doesn't always work for me, but today's my lucky day. And again, if you wanted to have your ribbons, I just love the mesh too. And so if you want your ribbons to be, your mesh to be exposed more, then you can make your tails longer. You would make them probably 13 or even 14-inch. Oops, grab the wrong one. But I just went with a 12-inch this time. But you certainly can. Sorry, y'all, got an itch. It makes me itchy. All right, we're almost there. And I'm just trying to keep this in the center as much as I can. Curling in, making sure. And I'm getting a little longer here, but I want to make sure, yeah, that's 12. About 12. You could do a little bit, it catches so. Whoops. I love these mesh rollers from Susie. Oh my word. Is this not the best invention ever? If you get the opportunity to purchase a mesh roller from Susie, do so, because it really, I know this seems like it's kind of cumbersome, but it's way more cumbersome without this mesh roller, I'm going to tell you. Back in the day. And again, we're taking our, and we're just folding it in half. And I dovetailed my ribbons. I went ahead and cut them and dovetailed them, just kind of to save time. And we're just going to, you know, you can, I think we'll just try different ways and see which works better. I still think you have to go back and refluff them, so to me, for me today, it's not working, but we'll get there. I hate when they mush down, but great thing about this canvas, oh my goodness, it's really keeps its body. All right, let's see. And I just want to try and keep this in the center as much as possible, all the while I'm curling. Let's see if I can show you. So I'm curling that. That's a little long, so I'm going to release it a little bit. So this is what I'm doing. See how that's sort of trying to keep that in the middle, and then I'm just tucking this under and just bringing it together, and I'm pulling my hands underneath to get it at 12 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we have to kind of like release it a little bit, just a little. Make sure I'm doing 12. Yep. And we're going into the top rung. We're still at that top rung. And then we'll do a little fluffing here and there. And you just have to reach up underneath it to get that bottom mesh. And sometimes I might have, there we go. Just to get that, and pull it out. There we go. And I'm not afraid. This one actually is not fraying. I mean, it's really a great mesh. So it's I'm not seeing any fraying. So at all. Nope. So I think definitely gonna repurchase this. You know, Carolina Pottery carries just some absolutely awesome products, and they're very convenient for me. And I've been blessed to be able to shop there over the past 12, 15 years. Long time, ever since they opened. And their customer service, y'all, is excellent. I've never had a bad experience in Carolina Pottery. I've called them last minute, last Christmas. I realized I had picked up the wrong screenery swag for my mantle, and I called there and I had the number, and they went and looked for it and went and held it for me. They had some, still had some, and that was last minute. And I'm telling you, you know how hard it is to find something, you know, always something that says, oh no. And it helped me finish my Christmas mantle. And honestly, I was so thankful for the ladies there. They know me well. See me there all the time. And they're such kind people. And they have the most beautiful Christmas displays. And I can't wait. I'm going in September. I'll be going to the Carolina Pottery in Myrtle Beach. And I love that one as well. I know I'm not a sponsor. I mean, they're not sponsoring me, but you know, can't say enough when you have somewhere awesome like that. It's just such a blessing to run down there and they have all this quality product right at your fingertips. And they also have beautiful pre-made wreaths. The designers there are so talented. And they actually, this was inspired by one of their designers, FYI. She used a little different size ribbons, I think, but they have some beautiful pre-made wreaths. And I go there for inspiration too. And they make beautiful centerpieces as well. But a lot of times, okay. So we've got to see, we've got this one done, and we should be able to find the one that we did not. There it is. Okay. It's getting poofy. Okay, so now let's get this released a little bit. Just to give me some wiggle room. And we have to find that one. Okay, here's the one that we did not do on the bottom. And we're going to cross over from here. And you may have to go a little bit more than 12, but we'll see. We're going to cross over. Yeah, we do. Just a little bit more mesh. Just to make it over. And we have to tie it off. We're going to go in between. Can you see that? We're going to go in between. And that's all right. We move that out of the way. And there's that one. See, that one that we didn't finish on the bottom, so we can tie it off. I like to tie them off that way. And sometimes, there. Okay. And then we'll finish that up. That's how I do mine. And we'll trim this off in just a minute once we get our ribbons in there. And this is thick ribbon, so it's hard to pinch, but it's worth it. It's worth the effort. All right. And we're just going to form that X. We can adjust that, and I think before we put this set of ribbon in, we're going to go ahead and trim that off and get it secured. So the way I secure them is again with another zip tie, and I'll just trim off some here. I'm going to grab my scissors. Give myself plenty of room, so I want to come out maybe 4 to 5 inches, and we're just going to trim this off. Make sure we don't snip our other part. I'm just going to roll this up out of the way so it doesn't grab on us. Okay, so here's that one that we have gone over. Let's try to do it this way if we can. And then you can go up in here again, like up in this part right here. You can come back in there and just push it down. Or you can come back like this and just secure it to the bottom like that. And I think it's just going to be easier for me to do that today like this, and I'm grabbing that metal rung. And I'm going to come back with that zip tie, well, get it flipped around the right direction, and we're going to go in, and y'all, I'm diabetic, just FYI, and so it doesn't take any time for me. If I barely bump anything, I get bruises everywhere, and especially when you're doing this. So yeah, making sure we're on there. And I like to turn this in before I totally secure it. And I will pull it in this direction. And then we're going to flip this over real quick and trim it off. And just adjust it. Snip. And if we need to trim this off some more, we can. There we go. But we'll do that when we go to finish it up. So we're getting there. We're just going to fluff that up. It's nice and full. And I'll show you totally once we get everything added to it. But let's just take a quick little spin so you can see how that's looking. And again, we'll trim off these off. Sometimes I trim them off, sometimes I just tuck them in. And I may leave them tucked in because for this time, because I may go back and add my strawberries in there. But we can certainly go ahead and let's make a decision. Sometimes you get some that look kind of, just have to fluff it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We'll definitely trim that one off. I actually may make that where my bow goes. Because I may do, I'm not sure if I want my bow to come down. There we go. Just kind of work it. I don't know if I want my strawberry to, that's kind of cute. Or if I want, I gotta add my ribbon tail there. I got one set of ribbons left. I know I got to do that one, so I'm just trying to decide before I do that if I want to do this. And let's take my bow and add my, if we want the bow to be across from there, I'm gonna have to lift this up just a little bit, take a look at that, and maybe angle that, come up a little higher. And we have to also decide if we want it to sit on top or we want it to kind of pull down in there a little bit. I don't want it to be too high and kind of overshadow my strawberry. So I'm just going to kind of shift this up a little bit and see how that looks. Yeah, I think we'll kind of angle it. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'm going to add, I think what I'll do is I will add my bow first. And that way we can fluff it out. And I left these super long, my tails, because I'm going to curl these under, and I didn't trim them. The other tails, I did dovetail them, and I kind of did them a little long. And what I did, I usually use a pipe cleaner, but this time, instead of using a pipe cleaner, I used greenery wire, floral greenery wire. You can either use a pipe cleaner or this. Sometimes I use this because sometimes pipe cleaners I feel don't quite get it nice and secure, but and I need to trim off my zip tie, which is what I used to initially make my bow. And I think I'm going to hold this up for a minute just to make sure I'm getting which side that I want to look. Oh yeah, okay. Quickly, we're going to add that last tail. Thought I forgot, didn't you? We're going to add that last tail, set of tails, and then we can get on that bow. Might come back out just a tad. Sometimes if it blends really super nicely, then I don't worry so much about trimming these off, because it has kind of like a cool little texture. There we go. Okay, we've got that done. And now I think we're just kind of going to go in between and maybe around. And this is sort of like a, let me make sure I got my bow looking the way I want it. The direction I want. And again, I'll have to refluff this bow because it's been moved around and moved around. But, and I may even have to trim these off a little shorter so it doesn't hide my pretty strawberry ribbon. And I'm going to sink it down just a little bit because I don't want it that much taller. And I'm going in between. Do you see here? Oh, I'm going in between these two here. Whoop. Down to the wire. Okay. This is always the most difficult part, it feels like to me. There we go. Yep. Adding, and I'm going to sink it down. This is, it looks like it's too much now, but that's just because I'm pulling on it to get around that, but I'll pull it back up a little bit. There we go. Get out of that rung. There. And now I'm going to lift it up and I'm just twisting back on the bottom, and see how it just pulled down just a tad. And if it's too much, you just untwist it. I'll have to see once I get it up and looking at it straight ahead. I don't want to twist it too much. There we go. Okay. Yeah. And again, we'll just go back and refluff those as we need them. And if I feel like these are too long, like this one may be too long, I'll trim it. I have them in all different lengths, and I kind of like that. So we're going to add our strawberry, and I have to take this little fishing wire filament that they put on there. I thought that might come right out, but it's not. Just trim it close. That's what they used to hang it with. If you're going to hang it somewhere else, and we'll just go, we were going to do it kind of catty-cornered. Sorry, I got to lift it up again. Yeah, maybe down a little lower. Yeah, I kind of like going a little lower there. And the way that I do that is the same thing. I'm going to use some greenery wire. I think this is 22 gauge. I have several sizes and I can't remember. And I may need to use 2 pieces. Let's see if the bag says it. Not on this bag. Nope. It's not telling me. Let's see if we just need to use 1 piece or 2. Maybe just... Maybe we'll just do 1. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And I kind of just work it in, you know, as best as I can. I don't need to go that much. Kind of find the center. And then you just kind of keep going, and I can kind of see it as it's going along. You just kind of working it. And it doesn't have to be super, and we'll just twist it around. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And you can twist it like this if you want. I think it puts too much tension on it if you try to twist it. So I just leave it like that. And then I'll go down into the wreath. There we go, yeah. And leave it a little bit higher. If this is too far down, I may end up pulling that back up, but we'll see. And again, we're gonna go in between, right here, we're gonna go in between one of these, down to our work form. We're just gonna work it around, pulling my ribbons up around, and I'll adjust it here. Find your hole. I want to go in between that. Yeah, okay, I'm doing that. Okay, here we go. And we can kind of move it a little bit here. And then we're just going to twist it around that wire wreath form. And that's going to hold it in place. for us. Yeah, and then we'll just, of course, adjust our pretty ribbons, just like that. And then you just have to go back through and refluff, just refluffing them, and refluff this. And to get it just the way you want it. You know, they get bent and moved around as you work with it, but you can always go back and fix that. And this canvas ribbon really makes a difference. I just love it. Excuse me. Okay, again, I think I'm not going to trim these pieces here off right now because I've taken so much of your time. So I am considering for sure taking my strawberry and trimming it off and actually coming in and doing some accents just to show you how that's going to look. And I probably will come in and do some in here too as well and go through. But the reason why I don't want to trim that off is because I can just kind of curl that under, and that will help me to hook my strawberry into there. But you'll see, kind of gives you an idea of how that will look. And I don't want to add a lot of these, but I do want to add some. So I will go back and be sure to, I will post it on my Facebook page as well, my finished wreath, but you will be able to see it because I'll take a picture for my video snapshot, and you'll see actually how it looks and how it looks on the door. So I hope you've enjoyed. Oops, sorry guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video today. I've enjoyed making it, loving strawberries. So again, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do so now and tap that bell, and that will give you some notifications of when I upload new tutorials. I do all kinds of things. I don't do just wreaths. I do arts and crafts. I do centerpieces, swags, garlands, mailbox swags. And so if there's anything that you really want to see me do, please comment below and we'll see if we can't add that to my project list. I've enjoyed having y'all here today, and I hope to see you again soon, and I hope that you all have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.